The use of UPI, the Reserve Bank has proposed to allow the linking of credit cards to the UPI platform. The RBI said this facility will be enabled on RuPay credit.
The RuPay credit cards will be linked to the UPI platform. This will provide additional convenience to the users and enhance the scope of digital payments.
RBI has given a major push to the digitization agenda by announcing a series of measures that are going to further boost digital adoption, and the big one is linking UPI with credit cards.
UPI has become the most inclusive mode of payment in India with over 26 crore unique users and 5 crore merchants on the platform.
Shalom, shalom, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere camp. And once again, this is your brother Abawan, back again with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai. And what I want to focus on is Unified Payment Interface, or UPI, which is something that is being used primarily in India. And as you all should already know, I recently had to move to India, for a few months, just over, one of my family members got sick, so I have to be here to take care of that. But anyway, while I was here, I noticed that a lot of cashless payments going on around here as well, more into the algorithm for the MOTB, more going into the mark of the beast, the gradualism into it, and you have this contactless payment method that is used here in India. And for those of you that don't know what contactless payment is, that's your credit card, that's your phone, that's QR code scanning and paying with your phone, paying with your credit card, paying with a watch or anything, or any form of an interface, any involve cash transactions. That's what is your contact. That's what contactless payment is going into, and this is the UPI system that is being used in India. Primarily because majority of the payments that are done here in India are done through this UPI. You'll be hard pressed to find cash or even debit card payments. It's more UPI and using this QR code, right? So, just wanted to give a brief explanation for what this UPI is, just showing you that there are different levels and different systems that are put in place by ISO, IDOM in these different nations in order to push the MOTB. So UPI, Unified Payments Interface. So UPI is a system, going into the article right now. UPI is a system that powers multiple bank accounts into a single mobile application of any participating bank, merging several banking features, seamless fund routing, mechanical payments into one hood. And basically what the UPI is an app, various UPI services that actually exist here in India. But the one I know about is Phone Pay UPI, where you can connect your bank account, you can connect your ATM cards to that UPI system, and through that you can make purchases and make payments just by simply scanning a QR code, authenticating the payment, and you make the payment. Plain and simple, right? No need to type in credit card number, no need to type in pins, all the information on your credit card before you can make a payment. No need to even pull out your wallet, pull out the credit card and swipe or anything like that. So what Isoidom is going with, as we already know, with this MOTB, is going with convenience, trying to make the people more, trying to basically make it more and more convenient for you to make your cash payment so that they can bring in his MOTB, right? Can bring in the mark of the beast, because all this really is gradualism. He is slowly introducing you, slowly desensitizing you through these cashless payments to the idea of implanting a microchip into your body in order to control and to make these transactions. So now all the transactions are just automatic and convenient. You can even receive payments using that exact same method. But continuing on. It also caters to the peer-to-peer collect requests, which can be scheduled as per requirement and convenience. Each bank provides its own UPI app for Android, Windows, and iOS mobile platforms, and it gives you the prerequisites of how to get the UPI and the service activation, and different things like that. Okay, now basically all that is going into the definition. I also had a video going into it as well. Unfortunately, all the videos that are really going in depth in the explanation of what this UPI is in Hindi, which is the language here in India. But I think you get the point. It's just another payment system, and it's actually far more effective than using your credit cards, your debit cards, and things like that. Because all you have to do is just to scan a simple QR code and everything, and you can even connect the debit and credit cards and bank accounts throughout various banks and use various payment platforms, right? So now I want to get some presets before I put out the video because all I really want to do is just to bring out this new payment method and what it actually entails, what it actually is, which is desensitizing the people to receiving implantable microchips and to basically for the sake of transaction because out of all the characteristics. That's not the word I'm looking for. Out of all the functions which the RFID microchip has, the one that Esau Edom is pushing the highest, that he's using to um get that he's using to persuade the people to take this CHIP, right? To take the MOTB is the transactions, the ease of transactions. All your transactions are handled with a swipe of a finger, with the swipe of your hand because the payment system, right, is implanted in your hand. You don't have to worry about losing your wallet. You don't have to worry about losing your phone or any. You don't have to worry about losing anything as long as it is implanted in you, right? So this is the book of Habakkuk. I'll just put on get Habakkuk 2 verse 5. So this is the book of Habakkuk 2 verse 5, verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. In case you are thinking that you only needed to worry about the MOTB or the cashless system that is, going to usher in the RFID microchip and the mark of the beast, that you only have to worry about it if you are living in the West or in Western nations, even in these less developed countries, even in other nations as well. All the nations are pushing for this same agenda and are gradually implementing the infrastructure to bring in the mark of the beast in their systems, right? To bring in the RFID microchip into their system because what this UPI does, and I mentioned it before, it is that's why it's called Unified Payment Interface. It integrates all your banks, all your credit cards, or your debit cards, even other payments, even other payment apps and payment systems you might have into one interface, right? Similar to something exactly what the MOTB, right, will be doing as well. And that's what makes this UPI so convenient because now you can use your bank account, you can use your credit card, you can use whatever payment system, you can use whatever banking system you want and pay for whatever you want with the simple scanning of a QR code and things like that. And that is how Esau Edom is setting it up, right? Because what he's doing right now, the main agenda Esau is pushing right now is globalization, basically trying to make the whole world one. And even the scriptures warns you of this, that these devils, as soon as these devils, whenever they come into power, they wish to make the whole world one, that all people should be one, right? Let me see if I can find that piece. So that should be the book of Maccabees. That as soon as who was it, Antiochus or so, one of the Syrian leaders, that he wanted all people to be one. So he started I've forgotten the exact precepts. So he started basically no, let me just use the precepts to get that. Let me just go into the precepts so I can get that. I've forgotten the exact precepts. And worship in the book of Maccabees. Here it is. So this is the book of First Maccabees 1 verse 41, and it reads, Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. Habakkuk 2 verse 5, right? Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, but cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all peoples. And this is the same thing that Esau Edom is doing to this day. He wants all people to be one. That's why he's pushing for one world currency, one world government, one world order, the new world order that is being set up by Esau Edom. So all your governments, all your nations and nationalities and heritages and cultures and all that nonsense will be brought into and will be integrated and become one. And the one that will be and one government will be ruled over by the elites of Esau Edom. But alas, this their purpose, right? Their enterprise, their plans is in vain because they will not succeed as it is written. Let's get that. Now, I've gotten the right pieces I want to use because there are two of it. Let me just get the first one I'm thinking about. Let me get the first one I'm thinking about. Right, so this is the book of Job 5, verse 12, and it reads, He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And let me get the next one. And I've forgotten all these precepts are, but let me just get the next one. So this is the book of Job 20, verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, this is the book of Job 20, verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High, however, shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So while these devils are, so that is showing that their enterprise, right? Their plans will not come to success because the Most High, however, Shai, will bring the destruction of this kingdom. Before Esau Edom can succeed in his plans. Now, this is the book of First Maccabees 1, verse 42. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandments of the king. And of course, once the time comes when the MOTB is pushed, the heathen will be quick to accept it because they basically because the Most High Yahweh Shani Washa is not dealing with them. So they will be quick to accept the MOTB. But as for our people, as for Jake, let's just continue reading. First Maccabees 1, verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days and pollute the sanctuary and pollute the sanctuary and holy people. And of course, when this time comes, you know that it's going to be Jake that will be targeted heavily. Thus, you have Jacob's trouble. Because when Esau then wants to push his new world agenda, the first thing that he does, right, when Esau then wants to push, and you have examples of this happening in the past. Prime example right here with what Antiochus did. He wanted all his kingdom to be one. So, if he wanted all his kingdom to be one, so he pushed heavy, put heavy so he heavily persecuted our people, caused forced us to forsake the laws, the statutes, and the commandments of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, forced us to defile the temple of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, forced us to eat unclean foods, right? The unclean meat that the heathens do, and sacrifice unclean meats to the gods of the heathen, the temple of Jupiter. You can read all of this in the book of Maccabees. The same thing Esau Edom will do when he starts pushing this MOTB, this mark of the beast, heavily on the earth. Rather, I should say what Esau Edom is already doing, because these things are already coming to pass. These things are already happening. Okay, but of course, in the times that are coming, which is mainly the hour of temptation, Jacob's trouble. Those are some of the of so those are some examples of what is being called these things will happen, the persecution of our people, right? The hour of temptation, it will happen, it will increase in its scale, and it will increase in the, increase in the, I don't really know what word to use, but it will increase in the plans that Esau Edom is setting up. And this UPI is just an example of it. You have different versions of it all over the world. In the US and UK, you have it, the other forms of contactless payments. Here in India, you have UPI. Over in Nigeria, you have, well, you don't really have any major thing like that, but it's mainly, just debit and credit cards for now. But something else will come up as well as the time goes down, because ultimately the plans of Esau Edom for the mark of the beast, for the RFID microchip, are global. So all throughout the world, they're going to be seeing the lean into cashless, the lean into digital more and more, in order for these devils to be able to push their new world agenda, because the focus is to control the money. You should already know the quotes. I care not who controls the laws, right? As long as I control the money. I think it was one of the Rothschilds that said it like that. I said it. He said exactly like that, but basically the point being that you control the money, not just, and that doesn't mean you control the cash. It means you control the flow of the cash, the flow of the transactions, and you control the policies and how those transactions work. That's why you have these federal reserves, central banks, and actual commercial banks. These things are the policies that are set in place by them. The rules that they function by are controlled by the international banking families, the Rothschild, the Rockefellers, and so on and so forth. That's why we call them that. And that's exactly what he's talking about. They are controlling the money, the flow of the money, and how the economies of various nations work, which is why they are in control of the whole earth right now. They are pushing heavily for this RFID microchip, because to give them even more control, and they already have, and the ability to watch and monitor every transaction, tax every transaction, because that's ultimately tax every transaction, and that is ultimately, because that's ultimately what it's all about: control, control, control. And if you try to remember the documentary that I watched that was going into that, total control. The same guy that made the creature from Jekyll Island. I can't remember the exact name of the documentary, but basically going into the Federal Reserve and exposing the secrets of the Federal Reserve. I think his name was G. Edward Griffin or so. You don't quote me on that. Then just quickly do a quick Google on that, just to make sure I'm confirmed. Just to confirm I'm doing correct. Just to confirm. Yeah, it's him, G. Edward Griffin, the creature from Jekyll Island. But the video I watched was, the name of the video, I forgot the name of the video. It was a documentary exposing, it was a documentary made by this man, G. Edward Griffin, and he was exposing the Federal Reserve and how it worked on the international bankers. But that's beside the point. What we're focusing on right now is the UPI payments that have been set up by India. Let's go back to that. So this is, yeah, here it is. So this is another method, or another step towards the mark of the beast. More gradualism to the MOTB, more steps toward the mark of the beast, which is this unified payment interface. So with that, I'll end the video right here. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakak, Wadash, Wa Abad Baba, and through the Spirit, I hope you are coming across edified. Shalom.